When Nand reached home, his father asked about the financial literacy project he was working on with Neelkanth. Nand replied that Neelkanth had gone to meet a few schools for discussions regarding the project, and in the meantime, he was learning the basics of banking from Sampat, a branch manager. Hearing this, Nand's father said, "That's good. When you visit the bank next, can you get a credit card application form for me?" He added, "I received the debit card from my salary account just yesterday. These days, having a credit card is also useful. It comes with various offers, discounts, and benefits." Nand looked puzzled. What exactly is a debit card and a credit card? How are they different? And what are they used for? He asked. His father smiled and said, "These are important financial tools, but it would be better if you discuss this with Sampat. He'll explain it to you in detail." The next day was a bank holiday. However, Sampat called Nand and asked him to come to the branch anyway. His family was out of town and he didn't have any other plans. He thought it would be a good opportunity to finish some pending work and also clear any doubts Nand had about banking. Nand reached the branch early in the morning and met Sampat, who was having his breakfast. Sampat warmly offered him a cup of coffee. As Nand took a sip, he hesitantly asked, "Sampat, could you please give me a form to apply for a credit card?" Sampat looked at him and asked, "Sure, but which credit card would you like to apply for?" Nand appeared confused. "I'm not really sure what a credit card is," he admitted. "My father just asked me to collect the form from you. He didn't explain anything further. He simply suggested that I speak with you to understand credit cards and debit cards." Nand sat across from Sampat, still holding his cup of coffee, looking slightly puzzled. "Sampat," he said, "I don't really understand. What's the difference between a debit card and a credit card?" Sampat smiled, as if he had heard this question many times before. "All right, Nand," he said. "Let's keep it simple." He picked up a pen and pointed towards Nand. "Imagine you have $10,000 in your bank account. When you use a debit card, you are spending your own money. The amount gets deducted immediately from your account." Nand nodded. "So it's like paying directly from my pocket?" "Exactly," Sampat replied. "Now, a credit card is different. Here, the bank is lending you money. You spend now and you repay the bank later." Nand leaned forward with interest. "Repay later? How much later?" "Usually you get around 30 to 45 days, Sampat explained. "If you pay the full amount within that time, you don't pay any interest." "And if I don't?" Nand asked cautiously. Sampat raised his eyebrows. "Then the bank charges you high interest. That's where many people get into trouble." Nand thought for a moment. "So with a debit card, I can only spend what I have, but with a credit card, I can spend more than what's in my account?" "Correct," Sampat said. "But remember, just because you can spend more doesn't mean you should." Nand smiled. "Got it. Debit card is my money. Credit card is the bank's money." Sampat nodded. "Perfect. One more thing. Using a credit card wisely can help you build a good credit score, but misuse it and it can hurt you financially." Nand leaned back in his chair, now more curious than ever. "Sampat, you mentioned something called a credit score. What exactly is that?" Sampat smiled. "Good question, Nand. A credit score is like a report card for your financial behavior." Nand frowned slightly. "Report card? Like in school?" "Exactly," Sampat said. "Just like your marks show how well you perform in studies, your credit score shows how responsibly you handle borrowed money." Nand leaned forward. "So how does it work?" Sampat continued. "Whenever you take a loan or use a credit card, the bank tracks how you repay it, whether you pay on time, delay payments, or miss them completely. Based on this, a score is calculated." "What kind of score?" Nand asked. "In India," Sampat explained, "your credit score usually ranges between 300 and 900. Nand's eyes widened. "So higher is better?" "Absolutely," Sampat nodded. "A score above 750 is considered good.
It helps you get loans easily, and sometimes at lower interest rates. And if it's low? Nand asked. Sampat became serious. If your score is low, banks may reject your loan or charge higher interest. It tells them you might be risky.
Nand thought for a moment. So how can I build a good credit score? Sampat replied, simple habits. Always pay your credit card bills on time. Don't spend beyond your limit. Avoid missing EMIs. Use credit responsibly. Nand smiled. So basically, be disciplined with money. Exactly, Sampat said. Remember, your credit score is your financial reputation. Once it's damaged, it takes time to rebuild. Nand nodded confidently. Got it. I'll be careful before using a credit card. Sampat smiled. That's the right approach. Sampat smiled. You've got it. Your present habits decide your future opportunities. Nand nodded confidently. Then I'll make sure my credit score stays strong. Good, Sampat said. Because when the time comes, whether it's for a house, a car, or your dreams, you'll be ready. Nand took another sip of coffee, now looking far more confident. He turned to Sampat and said, Could you please give me a credit card application form and help me fill it out? Sampat smiled and handed the form over to him. Nand looked at the credit card form in his hand and frowned. Sampat, I thought a credit card was just one thing, but this form shows so many options. What are all these variants? Sampat smiled. That's a common confusion, Nand. Not all credit cards are the same. Banks design different cards for different needs. Different needs? Nand asked. Exactly. Let me explain. Basic/entry-level credit cards. These are simple cards for beginners, Sampat said. They have low limits and minimal fees. So good for someone like me? Nand asked. Perfect for starting and building your credit score. 2. Rewards credit cards. These cards give you points every time you spend. Nand's eyes lit up. Points? Like what? You can redeem them for gifts, vouchers, or even cashback. 1. Cashback credit cards. Instead of points, you get a percentage of your spending back as cash. Nand smiled. So, I spend and get money back? Yes, but only a small percentage. Still useful for regular expenses. 4. Travel credit cards. Best for people who travel frequently, Sampat explained. They offer air miles, airport lounge access, and travel discounts. Sounds fancy, Nand said. It is, but only if you travel often. 5. Fuel credit cards. These cards give benefits on fuel purchases. Nand nodded. So I save on petrol or diesel? Exactly. Cashback or surcharge waiver at fuel stations. 6. Premium/lifestyle credit cards. These are high-end cards, Sampat said. They offer luxury benefits, concierge services, exclusive offers, higher limits. Nand laughed. I guess I'm not ready for that yet. Sampat smiled. Not yet, but maybe someday. Secured credit cards. What if someone doesn't have a good credit score? Nand asked. Then they can take a secured credit card, Sampat replied. You deposit money with the bank, and the card limit is based on that deposit. So it's safer for the bank? Exactly, and helpful for beginners or people rebuilding their score. Now it makes sense. Different cards for different lifestyles. Sampat nodded. The key is not to choose the best card, but the right card for your needs. Nand smiled. So for me, a basic or cashback card would be a good start? Absolutely, Sampat said. Start simple, use it wisely, and upgrade later. Thanks, Sampat. I think I finally understand why my father asked me to talk to you. Nand sat across the table, now visibly more confident. Sampat, one last thing. What kind of loans do banks actually offer? And how does this credit score help in getting a better interest rate? Nand leaned back, absorbing everything. So, if I manage my credit card well today, I can get cheaper loans in the future? Sampat smiled. Great question, Nand. Let's break it down. He picked up a notepad and started writing. Types of loans banks offer. Broadly, there are two types, Sampat explained. 1. Secured loans. These are loans where you give something as security. Nand looked curious. Like what? Like a house or a car, Sampat replied. Home loan? For buying a house? Car loan? For purchasing a vehicle? Loan against property. You mortgage your property. Since the bank has security, interest rates are usually lower. 2. Unsecured loans, Sampat continued. So the bank just trusts you? Nand asked. Exactly, and that's where your credit score becomes very important. He continued. Personal loan, for any personal need. Credit card loan, short-term borrowing. Education loan, for studies. These loans have higher interest rates because they are riskier for the bank. Nand nodded. Okay, now tell me, how does my credit score affect all this? Sampat leaned forward. Think of it this way. Your credit score is your trust level in the eyes of the bank. He drew two columns. If your credit score is high, 750 plus, banks trust you more, higher chances of loan approval, lower interest rates, faster processing. If your credit score is low, banks see you as risky, loan may get rejected, or you get a loan at higher interest rates. Nand raised an eyebrow. How much difference can it really make? Sampat smiled. A big difference. Let's say two people take a 10 lakh rupee loan, he explained. One has a high credit score and gets 10% interest. The other has a low score and gets 14% interest. Over time, the second person pays lakhs more in interest. Nand's eyes widened. Just because of the score? Exactly, Sampat said. That's why maintaining a good credit score saves you money. Sampat finally told Nand that this covered the basics of banking. The fundamentals remain the same, even though the products may vary, he explained. He also mentioned that Nilkant had called him the previous day to say he would be returning by tomorrow, and had asked him to inform Nand that their weekly sessions would resume as usual from the coming weekend. Before leaving, Sampat told Nand that if he had any doubts, he could either visit him directly or give him a call. Nand thanked Sampat for his guidance and left the branch.